Now let's stay on energy for a bit, because the coal and gas industries are fighting back against the federal government's race to renewables, with Woodside launching a campaign to back reliable energy. Have a look.
Gas, like the natural gas produced by Australia's Woodside, helps meet one of the great challenges facing the transition to more renewable energy, like wind and solar. Because gas can provide a reliable source of energy for when renewables can't meet demand.
Meanwhile, the boss of mining giant Glencore says we need to use coal for longer to keep the lights on and keep prices low and remain competitive. Let's bring in Stephen Galilee, the CEO of the New South Wales Minerals Council. Thanks for joining us, Stephen. It's good to see the fossil fuels industry fighting back with these facts, really just reminding people of how badly we need them. I kind of think it's better late than never, but they should have been doing this 10, 15 years ago, because people need to be educated about how this system works.
Well, Chris, we've been doing it for some time now, certainly as long as I've been in this job, pointing out some of the issues and the reality about the transition. And the comments that we're seeing from Gary Nagle and others are just reflecting the reality of what's going on around the world. I mean, sure, countries are building out a lot of renewable energy capacity, and they're doing other energy forms of installation like nuclear as well. No one is doing it on a scale, an 82% scale of renewable energy, the aspirations that our national government has. And at the same time, global energy demand continues to increase. So you can build as much renewables as you like, but you've got to build a lot of other stuff as well to meet that demand. In relation to global coal consumption, we've just had 2 record years of global coal consumption, and that's driven by that increased global energy demand. Other countries are doing these builds of renewables as well, but they're encountering the same issues we are, and that is this stuff is hard, it's expensive. It's not going to happen as fast as the politicians are telling us that it's going to happen. And you can only run from reality so long, Chris. Reality eventually catches up with you on these issues, and that's what we're seeing. Yeah,
and this is the point. If we're just shutting down the coal-fired power stations and not opening enough gas, we are going to get caught short. There's nothing surer. And even our EMO, which is full on board with this transition and driving it, they keep warning that there's not enough generation there. Whereas in the US, of course, you've got Trump saying, drill, drill, drill. They've made America energy self-sufficient with all the gas drilling they're doing here. What is the answer here? Is it enough to keep our existing coal generators going, or do we need to build new coal-fired generation to get us through, in addition to new gas-fired generation?
Well, the first step, and what we've seen from state governments in Victoria and New South Wales, is to make sure that our current capacity, which is our coal-fired power fleet, is not closed before replacement capacity is ready. So we've seen the extension of power station operating lives in Victoria, and more recently here in New South Wales with Eraring too. The second issue I think that you raise is we shouldn't be ruling out future forms of energy generation. Gas development has been proven to be very problematic because of the activists and environmental warfare, and we've got the Santos Narrabri project, for example, that's been under development in some form or another for over a decade. We've got politicians ruling out other forms of potential baseload energy, in particular nuclear power, with the ban that's in place. So we've got one of the most, if not the most ambitious renewable energy experiments going on in the world here in Australia. We've got politicians telling us we've got to shut our existing baseload quicker than what is going to be possible. And we've got the same politicians ruling out what could replace that without allowing us to have a proper argument about it in a debate about the merits or otherwise.
It is madness. It is literally madness, as you outline it there, Stephen. Thanks for joining us again. Stephen Galilee there from the New South Wales Minerals Council. It is our national energy self-harm. It is continuing apace, and we're not going to stop warning people about it. I don't care how green you are, how much you want to save the planet. We need energy, and Australia is not going to save the planet. So we need to make sure we keep the lights on while we make this transition to renewables or renewables plus nuclear or whatever.